Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. So I love this episode. It's Thursday morning, 6:25, and November the 11th, 2021. So it's talking about trusting people. And this was, I heard it on the podcast and I was like, wow, this is really, really good, deep level shit that I'm absolutely fascinated by. So I trust people individually. This is what this podcast says, and I do. I inherently believe that everybody is good. Most people are good. Very, very few people are bad. However, I trust people less so in groups. In groups, that is when there is an issue. That is when there are problems, and that is when people default to the mean, meaning that there'll be some influential character. People who are more influential in groups aren't the smartest, aren't the cleverest, but they're the most influential sometimes, and that is not good for the group. It's not good for the people. You would never act a certain way that you would do on your own as you would do in a group. We become ahead. We lose our individual strength. And I've got a note here: the wrong people get the attention in a group. The brightest and cleverest in a group tend to blend in. I was talking to one of his school dads this morning, and he was talking about the Hull City fans. And he goes, Dino, the Hull City fans, I mean, all football fans can be knobheads. Absolutely. I mean, just look at football fans. I'll get on to what he told me in a minute. But like, if you look at a football stadium and you look at this is called banter, but it's not banter for me. This is just absolute tossers, absolute tosspots. You look at a player from the opposition and he goes and takes a throw in, and you can see people behind him doing the wanker sign, and you're thinking, what is that mentality? Why? That person's taking a throw in for his team. Why is he a wanker? I get the banter, but that's not banter. That's just immature, childish stupidity. I really question people when I see stuff like that, but it's not how they would behave in normal life. They only behave like that because they're in a group, they're influenced by other people. And it always seems to bring out the worst in people. My school friend's dad, he was saying the other day, this morning when I was talking to him, he was saying, Dino, the Hull City fans, honestly, on this train back from Barnes, I was on the train back from Leeds, and there was a bunch of knobs. There was a group of lads, and this lad, so there's a group of lads, and there's just one lad, not with them lot, went for a toilet, and they threw a can at his head, and they all started laughing. What level? Why is that acceptable? On what level? What level of intelligence is that? It's absolutely ridiculous. Not even an opposing fan or anything. They just throw a can at his head. Why? Why on earth would you do that? And just because they're in a group, because you become ahead. And if that person who threw the can, he would never do that on his own, because he's got higher standards of himself. We hold ourselves to a higher standard when we are on our own. But when we're in a group, that standard seems to slip. Our behavior seems to slip. We will always do and behave less in a group. We will always be worse off. So, but what is that? Why do we do that? But this podcast I was listening to is all about it went into the reasons why and the herd mentality and what we do, and we're a group, and we're, when we come together collectively, it makes us all worse, individually worse, and then we become worse, and it's like an echo chamber, because now that behavior is okay, and then so once that behavior, because nobody dares say to that guy, hey, don't chuck that can, that's wrong, and so therefore it becomes acceptable behavior in that group now. And so they'll do it again, and it's an echo chamber, and then they'll go progressively worse and progressively worse. It's ridiculous. So individually, I trust people. I think people are good. But in a group, I won't trust people, because we lose ourselves. We lose our individuality. We lose our strength. We daren't stick up for what's right. We daren't say, no, that's enough. That's not right. That's drawn the line. We've gone beyond the line now. We don't say that. We don't get involved in that. And therefore, the behavior gets worse. Why? Because we don't want to stand out. We don't want to stand out, and we don't want to be subjected to the ridicule. And it's crazy. So if you're in a group, if you're in a crowd, just remember, raise the standards, raise your barrier to what is acceptable. Don't be the people chucking a can or whatever it is. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So inherently, I trust people individually, but as a crowd, we get worse as human beings. And it's just something to think about. Tomorrow, we're talking about solutions in life. All right, see you soon. Love you. Appreciate you. Bye.